What is up, Truth and Transparency? How we doing? Happy Sunday. Woo, we're going to jump right into it. Hello. Okay. The knife, the sheath. The state filed a response to Ann Taylor wanting Amazon clicks. She filed a motion to eliminate for it. And so the state's response to that, it was number 9. And I want to point out that when you are reading this and the facts, on November 13, 2022, law enforcement responded to 1122 King Road, and 4 victims were found deceased with apparent stab wounds. A K-bar knife sheath with a United States Marine Corps USMC logo was found lying next to one of the victims. If you guys remember when we went through all the search warrants, we showed that in Amazon, they were very specific with even listing a SKU number, the product ID number that was put in the search warrants. Now, why does that matter? Well, because that's the item that was next to the bodies. It was not just a random sheath. It was specifically this United States Marine Corps USMC logo. Myself and Bella took the liberty of, back in the day when we were doing this case, after the arrest of Bryan Kohberger, and then after things would trickle out, and then even before he was arrested, everybody was talking about, K-bar. So we were doing Google searches, we were doing Amazon searches, Walmart, Blue Ridge Knives, everything where there was a search warrant that was anything that had to do with the knives part. And so we saved all of that stuff, screenshotted it, saved it, because we would know one day that we would be talking about this. And that day has come. Well, back then and still to this day, when you would be going on Amazon and you would type in for a K-bar knife, it's going to, I'm going to show you guys the screenshots of it. I'm sure you guys have tried this. If you haven't, you guys can do it yourselves. Or you guys can just believe what you see with your own eyes. So here's this. All right. I stop sharing for 1 second. Go here, take a look. Need help in finding the right kitchen knife? Buy together. Right there. That's your sharpener. This is what it looks like. Now, one thing that I did notice is back in the search warrants, they didn't talk about a sharpener back in the search warrants. So, but it does have a SKU product number there, as you can see. So let me scroll down just a little bit more right there. And you're purchasing that item. It is a frequently bought together link where you can buy the knife with the sheath, the sharpener, and this puppy. Okay. And that was me just searching in Amazon, typing in K-bar knife. And then after you type that in, then you would click on the item there to the left with the sheath. And then when you do that, frequently bought together, that comes up. So, okay, now back here. And all right, so on April 26, 2023, the state applied for and was granted a search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's Amazon.com user activity. The search warrant was amended by Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall on May 8th to correct a Scrivener's error. We'd love to know what that is, but the search warrant directed law enforcement to seize from Amazon Bryan Kohberger's customer click activity pertaining to knives and accessories, payment method issued. So the only thing, so see this right here? This is where Ann Taylor is trying to say, you're not giving us all the data that you would have gotten. And so all they asked for, now, mind you, okay, this is a good time to present this. I wanted to know all about Amazon clicks and do my own research and see what I could find. So what I found was something that I think is interesting. Okay. And here we go. I looked this guy up, this founder of MakeMoneyOnlineSpace.com. This author has 10.8K answers and 2.7 million answer views. Every clicked on a link for a cool gadget or a must-have book only to end up on Amazon and mysteriously wind up buying something else entirely. That, my friend, is the magic, or maybe mayhem, depending on your wallet, of right here, it's affiliate marketing. But how exactly does Amazon track those sales? Let's imagine you're browsing funny cat videos. Hey, no judgment here. And you stumble upon a hilarious compilation that mentions the perfect laser pointer. Intrigued, you click the link in the description, which takes you to the Amazon page for this magical toy. Now, here's the secret sauce. That link isn't a regular Amazon link. It's laced with a special code unique to the person who posted the video. When you click it, Amazon registers that, hey, this potential customer came from a specific source, the cat video. Even if you browse around for a while, because let's face it, who can't resist browsing cat trees after a laser pointer, and end up buying a giant bag of kitty litter instead, Amazon can still track that sale back to the original video. They know, this person came from the funny cat video. So that affiliate marketer gets a commission, all right? Pretty cool, right? It's a win-win for everyone. You hopefully found the laser pointer of your dreams. The video creator gets a reward for recommending it, and Amazon makes a sale. Now, just released 5 days ago. So this is interesting to me. Just released 5 days ago. When was it? I guess so. They announced, they disclosed it in December about this Shane Cox guy and that he was going to be this Amazon expert. Well, I was like, I want to know everything about Shane Cox. Like, who's Shane Cox? What does he do? He's going to be testifying. All right. And so what do we do? Well, who's Shane Cox? What does he do? Well, Shane Cox, believe it or not, is from Pennsylvania originally. Salisbury, Pennsylvania. Right there, Allen. He went to Salisbury High School, Allentown, the Billy Joel song. And he didn't go to college. He went straight into Amazon. So welcome in Shane Cox, who now, mind you, he went to high school from 2007, 2011. Then he got right into working with Amazon from 2011. And he's worked his way all the way up to, where he's at with Amazon, which he is the person that if you are law enforcement and you reach out for a subpoena, a search warrant, then you send it via the portals. He's your guy that is going to handle that. He is law enforcement. He's the personnel. So Shane he was law enforcement response specialist, August of 2020 to July 2022. Then in November of 2022, he became the senior, so you can see Amazon, 13 years, 7 months, and everything's under that. Senior law enforcement response specialist, July 2022 to November 2022 for 5 months. Manager LER specialist, November 2022 to present. So Shane basically, if I was to guess and make a good educated guess, he is the dude that handled this Amazon inquiry by law enforcement. Okay. Now, okay, so what does Shane do? Well, receive and process emergency law enforcement requests both during and outside of normal business hours, and sometimes overnight. Utilize a combination of manual and automated tools to compile information potentially responsive to a particular law enforcement request. Communicate verbally and in written with law enforcement personnel, Amazon employees, outside counsel, and others. Assist in the identification of patterns and trends that might be evident from the processing of certain law enforcement requests. Now, this is where I think it's interesting, is based on what they asked for in their search warrant, as I just read. So we'll go back to that. So here, now bring in this. So the search warrant directed law enforcement to seize from Amazon Bryan Kohberger's customer click activity pertaining to knives and accessories. That's it. You see that? And now, so Shane works with patterns, trends of a person's account. And in order to do that, you would have to look at the count as a whole. You cannot just look at the only thing being Bryan Kohberger's customer click activity pertaining to knives and accessories. So his little specialty, there's no way that he could, how is he going to take the stand and say, I was able to view patterns and trends, and you would have to look at the whole account, not just this. Okay. And that's what Ann Taylor is saying in her, like, yo, wait a second. You're either not giving us all the data, or like you have it, you haven't turned it over, but you have to understand how Amazon works with these clicks and these affiliate clicks and the AI shit and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I'm like, oh, Shane Cox should know how all of this works. But from me reading what Shane Cox is supposed to do here is he would be looking for patterns and trends within this account. And this has already been limited right off the rip. Okay. So I'm curious if there was, another, what he maybe did after the fact, if they employed him then as an expert, but then all you have to do is continue to read right here. And so again, they want the method of payment used, details of items in the carts to include all items added to cart, all items removed or deleted from cart, wish listed, blah, blah, blah. This is everything that they were asking for in the search warrant. Devices used to connect to account, all account linked in, an account. The search warrant right here, nobody wants to talk about this. The search warrant was limited to March 20, 22 to March 30th, 2022. And my question would be right there as to where did they get the information, law enforcement, out of all the days, if they've never seen anything from Bryan Kohberger's Amazon account, okay, what information did they go off of? Because I believe it's off the feds. What information did they go off of that, hey, we're only looking for this point, for this period of time, March 20th through March 30th? Next. And then this period, which was November 1st through December 6th. And see how they only went up to the 6th? And this is when I knew that this is a mistake by, what do you call it? Law enforcement. Remember when I told you guys that why wouldn't they have, if they're looking for a sheath replacement, right? And you did this on the up and up, and this actually wasn't filed by somebody else with a different agency, it's stopping on December 6th tells us everything we need to know. That Mowry copy, cut, and pasted what the FBI did. And he never changed the date to go all the way to the 29th before he was arrested. Okay? That's how you know. Because if they would have done this, like without the feds ever going and getting search warrants, okay, of Bryan's shit, they would have then went all the way to December 29th for this so-called replacement. All right. The reason they only went from November 1st through December 6th is because Mowry did a big oopsie poopsie and copy, cut, and pasted and didn't change that back date from December 6th to December 29th. You would never not, especially like, you would not include December 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Like, why would you ever do that? You didn't arrest him until X days. So you would want to include all of that because he could have gotten this replacement sheath, right? That they're trying to, that he was looking for, that, which we're going to get into. But this is what I've said this for months now. But now it's coming full circle for it to just, it's in black and white again. There is no, you would never fill out a search warrant, okay, in 2023 and stop the date on December 6th, okay? You would never do that. You didn't have Bryan, you don't have him yet. You haven't arrested him yet. So you have to go all the way from up until the day he would have been arrested. Oh, but Lana, well, why wouldn't you? Well, there's only one answer for that, guys. One answer. And it's because Mowry cut, copy, and pasted the dates that were given to him from the FBI. And so he cut, copy, and pasted the March 20th to the March 30th because the FBI already knew that that's your range where you're going to see some activity. And then, hey, we did, when the FBI put their search warrant in, they went to December 6th because that's the day that they put in the search warrant. Okay? They couldn't go ask for the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th because they didn't put it in. You can't ask for future dates when you're giving a search warrant. So this proves, number two, which is you didn't, when you want to say that you didn't know about Bryan Kohberger until the 19th, Payne, this is a problem. Because if you're truly looking for something, you would know that you didn't arrest your suspect until the 30th or the 29th. So therefore, you would go until the 28th. But this was all information given to them by the feds. And the feds did this on the 6th of December when they were doing their shit. So they knew about Bryan Kohberger. They had that name. No doubt about it. In my opinion, the latest by the 6th. And this is what proves it. But this is what you won't see on mainstream media. This is what you won't see on mainstream media. Let that all sink in now. See, the search warrant was served on May 10th, 2023. On June 27th, Amazon provided law enforcement responsive data for the dates requested for each of the above categories. This evidence was provided to defendant on July 12th. Why did they wait so long to get that? Why did they wait to do all of this? Right here. Oh, that was after what? The grand jury. But this was so important, okay, and needed for a potential preliminary hearing, right? Everybody's saying, oh my God, this is like the end all be all. This is like what, like ropes in Kohberger. And I'm like, well, what it seems like to me is that this wasn't the end all be all, because they didn't even have any of this information, unless you have to say to yourself, well, they did because the feds had it. And that's what Jay Lawson basically says is, oh, then they realize, oh, you violated Bryan Kohberger's, Fourth Amendment. This stuff amazes me. All right, so going back now. On December 18th, 2024, the state disclosed Shane Cox, litigation and regulatory manager, law enforcement response for Amazon.com, as a witness. Can I get a witness for the above evidence? He is the witness for this evidence. So Shane better be accurate, right? How they do things better be accurate. As articulated in the disclosure, it's the state's position that Shane Cox's testimony is not expert testimony pursuant to Idaho rules of evidence. Exactly. So why did you list him down as an expert? This is what they're like. This was Ann Taylor's argument, is that you disclosed nothing to us about this Shane guy. He's not going to be an expert. Now the state's saying, well, yeah, he's not an expert. But we just disclosed him as an expert, but we know that he's not. So here the state says we know that he's not an expert, which is really, really important when you're going to be comparing things in a courtroom, and when you're going to be somebody believing in the how much weight are you putting into somebody saying something. However, out of abundance of caution, the state disclosed Mr. Cox as an expert pursuant to Idaho rules of evidence 702 and 703. The state made this strategic decision solely to ensure the state was not precluded from calling Mr. Cox. You would have been precluded because you didn't, just because you disclosed him, you didn't disclose him properly. So it would have been that doesn't make any sense. You can't do half disclosures if you even want him to be an expert. You have to disclose it all, which is the person, their report, and what they're going to be saying, their opinions. And it's based on his testimony, is based on specialized knowledge. Okay, now ready for this? Now I went ahead and did some crazy style digging. Okay, crazy style digging. Because this is all going to come down to how accurate is all of this shit. How accurate is it that I truly was viewing something? How accurate is that I was clicking on these things and I'm off trying, like, we're talking about AI shit now. We're talking about, okay. And are we even talking about the same product? So meaning this, if I buy a Wilson basketball that says Wilson on it, and at the crime scene, there's a Spalding basketball there with my DNA on it, I bought a Wilson. Well, why is your DNA on a Spalding? I don't fucking know. But I didn't buy that. Oh, but when I was going out and buying basketballs to see which one I wanted to fucking get, I probably touched 50 of them. That's just a simple example of. But I bought but what I bought and what I own versus what I could have potentially touched or that's so now pay attention to this part. So here on March 14th, and in response to the court's January 24th, 2025 instruction that more disclosures were needed, the state filed an amended disclosure. And this is the defendant primarily relies on Idaho Rules of Evidence, Rule 106, as the basis for his motion to exclude Amazon click history data. Reminder or related writings or recorded statements. If a party introduces all or part of a writing or recorded statement, an adverse party may require the introduction that time of any other part. So it's about the completeness of evidence. So all they want to introduce is just knives and accessories clicks, nothing else. So remember, the defense is expert saying, wait a second, this could have been recommended to you because you were looking at camping gear. This could have been, there's so many things that are going on in the back engine of Amazon. So I then said, I believe that, but let's do, let's take a look at that really quick, which is coming up in, let's see. Right here. Okay. This was just released 5 days ago. Passive income Amazon AI scheme allegedly scammed customers out of at least $14 million, according to the FTC. Again, here's your date, March 18th, 2025. And takeaways, the Federal Trade Commission filed a lawsuit against Click Profit and its owners on Tuesday, alleging that the company defrauded customers of at least $14 million. Click Profit claimed to set up online storefronts for customers and handle all of the logistics in exchange for at least $55,000 upfront. Click Profit promised investors that it would build e-commerce stores on Amazon, Walmart, and TikTok, and help them earn tens of thousands of dollars in passive income. All the client had to do was pay between $45,000 and $75,000 initially as a management fee, and then $10,000 more for inventory. Now, the Federal Trade Commission is suing the company, alleging that customers collectively lost at least $14 million by practicing in this so-called investment opportunity. So this was stuff that was going on. I want to scroll down just a little further. Okay. Click Profit misled consumers by falsely promising them guaranteed passive income using cutting-edge AI technology and exclusive brand partnerships. Their deception caused individual consumers to lose tens of thousands of dollars while the Click Profits operators enrich themselves. So my whole thing is holy shit. Okay. Again, it's all coming down to reliability. Well, fuck. If you're on the back end messing with shit so that you don't have to pay people for their clicks to be able to get percentages, then this could all be fucking so crazily skewed as to not have to pay people their little commission for their little, like, how all that shit works. And so this just came out March 18th, 5 days ago. way before Ann Taylor filed her motion. So if I was Ann Taylor, I'd be looking into this. I have no idea if something can come from this. But when I saw this, I was like, think about it. What's a great way to scam and to make extra money is you don't tell people and don't give them their full cuts on when people would click on something or be, you got directed my way because of X, Y, and Z. And so this whole back end being run AI, how reliable is it? So the case is the latest in the FTC's crusade against automation companies that claim to launch and manage online businesses for clients in exchange for a hefty investment. The FTC sued Ascent.com in September 2024 and Empire in August 2023 over similar claims. What are the allegations against ClickProfit? Per the complaint, ClickProfit has been operating as a business since at least 2021 under different names. The company markets its scheme as a passive income generator powered by AI with profits that will outperform returns on traditional investments like stock and real estate. Ooh, baby, baby. All right. So now back to this motion. So again, the state only wants to bring in clicks associated with knives and accessories. So under IRE 801, a statement is defined as an oral assertion, written assertion, nonverbal conduct, if the person intended to, examples of related writings. So they're talking about this, using portions of like a transcript of defendant's taped interview. But this is the problem, okay? Ann Taylor doesn't have all of Bryan's shit, okay? When they did this search warrant originally, they didn't go and get everything. So how is Ann Taylor supposed to bring everything forward in terms of to give to her expert to say, here's all of Bryan's raw data from this account or from this family account. All right, here, go through it. All that was turned over to Ann Taylor is what was specified in that search warrant, okay? But at some point, what Ann Taylor is saying, at some point, there was a search warrant beforehand that had all of it. Where's that one? Because that's how then you tailored your new one in 2023. That's what Ann Taylor is saying. You guys following? So just like, how did you know to use March 20th through March 30th? And then why did you only go to December 6th? You guys didn't arrest him until December 29th. I mean, if he's looking for this replacement, you would go all the way until the 29th. Oh, that's right. Maui forgot to change the date. Yeah. Ah, boy. Good old Maui. And so because of that, it outed then, wow, this is from something else. And it is. And so what Ann Taylor, I believe, is going to be suggesting, and this is how I would be suggesting it, is that why did you stop at December 6th? If you think he's looking for a replacement, why wouldn't you go all the way to December 28th? And you're not going to have an answer for that. Except you're going to say what? Oh, must have been a Scrivener's error. Must have been, I have no idea why I put the 6th. God, I have no idea why. I mean, the 6th. Think about this. There's no answer to it. The only answer to it is that isn't it true, Detective Mowry, that you copy, cut, and pasted from a previous warrant because you got those dates from the feds? And their search warrant only went to the 6th because it was turned in on December 6th. They put theirs in on the 6th. Well, Detective Mowry, if this is how bad your guys' investigation is, so for all we know, Bryan could have purchased the knife that you guys are talking about between December 7th and December 29th, right? Did you ever think to go get another search warrant for those dates, the 7th to the 29th? If you realize that, oh my God, I have no idea why I put the 6th. You guys, this is all a lie. How they got to Kohberger, lies. Now, defendant cites the Idaho Supreme Court's ruling in Ogden regarding the reasoning for the adoption of Rule 106, the completeness doctrine. Ding, ding, ding. What did I just say? Yes. And the reason that they're saying this, though, so let's just see how they want to word it. As this court is well aware, Stephen J. Hitler was the presiding judge. That was a felony drug case. The evidence at issue, officer body-worn video, fell under the purview of Rule 106. On appeal, the Idaho Supreme Court commented on the common law rule underpinning our IRE 106, stating that there is a danger that an out-of-context statement may create such prejudice that it is impossible to repair by a subsequent presentation of additional material. See that? Now, that the state says the state is awaiting additional information from Amazon, by the way, that the state understands will clarify that the extent AI is incorporated into Amazon's system, AI does not create a user's actual inquiry. Well, we'll see about all of that. We'll see about all of that. So I disagree. I 100% disagree. If you're sending me things, you're basically you're inquiring things for me. I wasn't looking them up. I wasn't searching them. They came across, oh, here, bundle this. And you know what you do is that when you add one of the products with the other product, right? And you're like, well, this would only cost me $30 more and I would get all this shit. It's like even worse than going to like the stores, like a Kohl's, and every time you go up to the pay counter and they put all the shit right there in front of you. Here, you probably missed this. Here, you probably missed that. So, okay. The Supreme Court's analysis of the completeness doctrine relates to statements. Statements is their claim. User activity from a business does not fall under the purview of Rule 106 because they are not quote unquote statements. The state is not able to locate any Idaho case law that extends Rule 106 to raw data or user activity from a business. Okay. And this is going to be really important because this goes back to what I just said 2 minutes ago, which is how can I defend myself if you guys didn't go and get all of the, I need that whole Amazon account, raw data, because my expert is going to need to do X, Y, and Z. So I guess what we're going to have to go do is get our own subpoenas. Next, further, in this case, the evidence at issue is complete. And when I saw that, I'm like, wait, what? So then how does Shane Cox come into play? Because Shane Cox cannot talk about trends if you only have that information. So bye-bye to that. The defendant argues that the data the state has disclosed to the defendant is extremely narrow when compared to the more inclusive and broad warrants and subpoenas. Yep, defendant's motion at 2. But this argument is incorrect. And this is where I think Ann Taylor's gonna be like, no, the argument is actually 100% correct because This isn't the first warrant that was issued for Amazon for my client, was it? To confirm, the state has disclosed to the defendant all data, including clickstream data that Amazon has produced in this case. And that's going to be interesting because I believe that's a lie. I believe that's a lie. And I believe that Shane Cox could actually be the person to say, well, I provided them with 2 different disclosures. I talked to them. When was the first day that you started talking to Shane Cox? Okay, so let's go back to see what Shane Cox does, remember? So let's see this. Ready? So Shane Cox. So we close that out. Come back over here to see Shane Cox. And so here's Shane Cox. Receive and process emergency law enforcement requests, both during and outside of normal business hours, and sometimes overnight. Utilize a combination of manual and automated tools to compile information potentially responsive to a particular law enforcement request. Combination of manual and automated tools. Next, communicate. This is the big one. Verbally and in writing with law enforcement personnel, Amazon employees, outside counsel, and others. When did you begin to communicate with and on this case? That's what's coming. And then if he didn't communicate on this case, did anybody besides him communicate on this case prior to May 8th? Assist in the identification of patterns and trends that might be evident from the processing of certain law enforcement requests. Do you see that? You cannot assist in the identification of patterns and trends when you are only asking for knives / accessory clicks. This is what your role is. This is what you can do. Did law enforcement ask you about how and why So I think that the state is only going to was planning on only using this person to say, yep, so think about all the cases that you watch. I swear to tell the truth. Yep, my name is Shane Cox. Great. And you assisted law enforcement by answering the Amazon clicks search warrant subpoena. Yep. On this day, yep. And then this is what you supplied them with, right? Yep. Okay, we would like to admit these into evidence. He authenticated the documents. This is your communication with them. He's authenticating. Yep. That's Shane Cox. That's what the state had in mind. Until Ann Taylor went and hired her own Amazon expert and already disclosed her Amazon expert and disclosed his and what he was going to be talking about in his reports, his opinions on this. And one of the things is that I need a complete file. This is incomplete. You can't and listed everything out. And now Ann Taylor's argument is that they're past the deadline by months, and now they cannot come in after we've disclosed our expert. Okay, you would need to go you'd have to, if you had a rebuttal expert to that. Okay, but this is becoming a huge fucking cluster for the state. Now, back to again, according to the state, that the state has disclosed to the defendant all data, including clickstream data, that Amazon has produced in this case. I told you I don't believe that. I believe that different things were produced at a different time, and that would have been December 6, 2023. Or December 6, 2022. The state narrowly tailored a search warrant for evidence regarding the crimes of homicide or burglary occurring at 1122 King Road. Perfect, awesome. This included the temporal limitations based on the officer's investigation, which limited the search from March 20th through March 30th. Again, exactly. And then they write it right here. The time it was known that Bryan Kohberger purchased the K-bar knife. How did you know that? How did you learn that material? Where did you learn that from? Right here. Purchased a K-bar knife with sheath and sharpener from Amazon.com. And November 1st through the 6th, see, the 6th, why wouldn't you go you would go up until to the 29th, 8th. Why did you only put this in? Oh, because the person that actually did this warrant the first time, they served it on December 6th, 2022. That's why they couldn't go past that date. I believe that they probably would have went January of, they probably actually did this whole fucking Amazon, to be honest. Hey, what's up, Heather? That's what I'm talking about. What's up? Okay. Yep. All the things that they lied about in the suppression, all the things that they lied about in the motions that they filed. It will now come out. This is what the long game is. Okay, well, you guys can keep lying, but we're going to eventually prove that you've been lying the whole time. Okay. And if you were working and co-located and you guys did all of this together, then you would have known that the FBI already did this. And they did it before Bryan Kohberger's name was said on December 19th. They did this on December 6th of 2022. How and why would you ever be doing that? I mean, it's like literally right here in black and white. Look at what this says. So this is the time it was known Bryan purchased a K-bar knife with sheath and sharpener, okay, and November 1st through the December 6th, time right before and after the homicides. Why would you stop at the 6th? Why would Moscow Police Department stop at the 6th? This is where they're going to just have to take a huge blow. And that blow is going to be, I must have made a mistake when I filled out the paperwork, and I have no idea why I put the 6th. I meant to put 26. Okay. You meant to put 26? Yeah, because I was trying to think about the day that he was, I don't know, I just put because he's not going to come out and say, yep, got it from the FBI because they already served one. If that's what you think is going to be said. We know they've been lying. They're going to keep lying. Now, they also are saying that anything outside of that, they're saying was not relevant. How would you know if it's relevant or not if you didn't go and get it? You would have no idea. This included was not relevant. I would be like, dude, how would you know that? Without any legal basis, the defendant claims that the state cherry-picked specific clicks or purchases out of the Amazon click history. This is simply not true unless you consider seeking only items of evidentiary value cherry picking. No, your dates were cherry picked. Irrelevant click activity on Kohberger's account would not provide any, so irrelevant click activity. And this is what the expert's saying, that is not true. Everybody knows this. You can be sent from things on, you wouldn't even have to be on Amazon, you guys. You could be watching a video, okay? And there's a link there, and then you click on it, and it takes you to Amazon of where whatever, then this is what's there. That's what I just read back 20 minutes ago. And then now we're going to start dealing with, this whole way that you're tracking this. Because a huge ass lawsuit just got fucking filed for $14 million. And Amazon is a part of it because of what these scammers were trying to do. For the state to say that something's irrelevant, then you have no idea how Amazon works, because you mustn't have also talked to Shane, because Shane would have been like, I would have shown you the pattern and trends with this account. But I believe that Shane didn't do anything like that. Shane wasn't asked to do anything like that. I just went above and beyond to see what Shane's abilities were. I.e. purchase of K-bar knife with sheath before murders, and his click activity indicating a search for a knife with sheath after the murders. And so I want everybody to know that the searching for a knife with sheath after the murders, I'm interested in that because I think that came from different websites, but we'll see what the footer says here. Can't remember. The defendant argues that Amazon's recommendation system influences what users see and click on. That's a fact. That's like a defendant's motion at 3. But this purported use of AI technology is not relevant. This is what they're claiming. Even if an algorithm might suggest certain products to a customer, the algorithm would not cause a customer to repeatedly and over the course of several days browse web pages related to K-bar knife sharpeners and sheaths. When? After? To repeatedly and over the course of several days browse web pages relating to K-bar knives, sharpeners, and sheaths. Well, I want to know how when these ads pop up. You want to know how many times I accidentally, when I'm doing stuff, even on my computer, typing away, and I'll get like an ad, or I'm on my phone and I'm reading an article. For example, Turtle Boy. Perfect example. When you want to go read Turtle Boy stuff, tons of ads pop up on his thing. Okay, that's how he makes his money. And so these ads pop up. And do you know how many times I've clicked on stuff because I'm using my finger to like move and I'm clicking and I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know how many times I go to read his articles? And so then it would look like I'm literally every other day clicking on, I have no idea what the fucking ad's even for, because I'm like immediately like, oh, get out of that. So I'm interested in what knife is it? It was bought 8 months prior to the murders. Is it the same sheath that was found next to Maddie? Or is it a totally different sheath? Would that matter to you guys? Conclusion. Oh God, Ashley Jennings wrote this. I should have known. Ashley Jennings attaches. So her motion here is literally 6 pages. Okay. And then she attaches the Exhibit A. And then, because that's what was used to get the search warrant. So I'm going to go to that, which should be right here at the end. Okay. See right there? And then, boom. This is a problem. There's your problem, Houston. See that? So bad. So bad. If this was done with no knowledge, and you have no idea when Bryan Kohberger could have possibly bought this knife with the sheath as part of it, you would never just include these days. You would include you could probably include a couple years worth. But I can't wait for that question right there is why would you stop at December 6th? And they're going to have to answer that. And the answer is because, well, I copy, cut, and pasted the FBI's complete search warrant. And remember, that's where the United States lingo is used. Like the feds. And then it's because the feds served theirs on December 6th, 2022. And so when he copy, cut, and pasted to do his in May so that they had their own and that they didn't violate anybody's, they didn't have probable cause to do what they did back then on December 6th. What's your probable cause? Well, we don't need it. We just do whatever we want. Yeah, okay. So then just admit that. So this is the warrant that tells me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they knew Bryan Kohberger's name December 6th at the very latest. Which means it wasn't a fluke that WSU was sent over to that car on the 29th, right before 1 o'clock a.m. at 12:53 a.m., 12:58, whatever a.m. And that was a guy that normally doesn't work nights. And it was your DNA detective specialist that has such a great way of taking items from crime scenes that, hey, we're going to be able to find, DNA in that bra clasp. Make sure you grab that. And this is wild. It'll be obviously a huge blow if I don't understand why they wouldn't say that the knife that Bryan purchased was because they have no problem saying this right here on page, I think it's page 1. Yeah, page 1 right here. So a K-bar knife sheath with a United States Marine Corps USMC logo was found lying next to one of the victims. And just so we're clear, December 6th, you guys, that date and why it's relevant is they didn't even have from Othram. The FBI didn't have the raw data. Othram still had it. They had a big meeting on December 10th. So Othram on December 10th ceased doing work with IGG. Then we were not sure if Othram sent it to the FBI or if ISP got it from Othram and then ISP gave it to the feds. But all of that started after December 10th. So December 6th, that's why Jay Lawson says, I think Bryan Kohberger has a privacy interest in what was the FBI doing with his DNA? Running around with his DNA. And the reason Jay says this is because of this date. Because, wait a second. If you actually went to Bryan's apartment and his car was right there, you could have swiped that car with the handle, okay? You could have went to his apartment and swiped stuff off of the door of the apartment. This proves that they knew who Bryan Kohberger was at the absolute latest, December 6th. This proves that they've been lying. And I don't know how the FBI got Bryan Kohberger's name. So that's what I take from this, just like I took from it. Let's see how long it's been. Since December 2024. When all those documents dropped. And I saw this search warrant and I said, what the fuck? December 6th? Why would he ever put December 6th down? If Maury's filling something out, you need to go all the way till before you arrest the dude. Why would you stop at December 6th? Then you go ahead and you look at all the mistakes and it was like, oh, that's an FBI, United States, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God, they took the information from the feds. And Ann Taylor, this is going to be very, very interesting, the 9th and the 10th of April. But this looks really, really bad, in my opinion. Because Ann Taylor and the defense team is saying that this was planted. And now we're looking at search warrants for Amazon that were clearly done by the feds way before the 19th of December when they said that they got his name from IGG. So how did you get his name? If it didn't come from IGG, which remember, they were flipping out about like not wanting to use. And I think that goes back to what Jay Watson said when he said, it's like the feds already knew who, it's like a lineup where you already know who you're targeting. So, I don't know. That date should bother everybody. If Maury was doing and Payne were doing everything on the up and up, when you've made that search warrant, you would have went because you're trying to really pin him to, hey, we got to prove that he would have been looking or trying to get a sheath replacement. You would have never stopped at December 6th. You would have went all the way up to the day before he was arrested. But that's how this is how Maury got caught. Well, this is how I should say MPD got caught lying. So that's what I think about the Amazon clicks, is they don't have an expert to testify to anything to do with Amazon clicks. It's way past the deadline date. And Shane Cox was going to be just used for purposes of authenticating the records. Now to try to say that he's going to be an expert and that you're disclosing what he's going to testify to as an expert, yeah, no. it's very, that's like saying, here, the whole class takes a test. You get to take the test after everybody else takes it and after I grade the other kids' tests. After that all happens, then you get to take your test. So I have a bunch of lives today, so I want to show you guys another thing to prep us for the next live. Here is coal. Everybody wants to talk about coal. So I'll give you guys some coal info. Coal. Well, Cole is friends with Kaylee, Jordan, the girl that she was going to go off and live with, and the bodybuilder, as well as Jack D. Okay, so Cole Elliott here. I wanted to go a little deeper, though. So Kaylee, Jordan was who Kaylee was supposed to live with in Austin. Peyton, that's the bodybuilder turned bodybuilder. But so what I did is I clicked on the Cole _ Elliott 22. So I wanted to see if he changed his, check this out. To help keep our community authentic, we're showing information about accounts on Instagram. And I wanted to know how many times he changed his username. Former usernames, 5. This is his 6th username. Cole Elliott 22. That's his 6th one. And so you can do some former usernames. Get 5 of them before this. Cole's DNA was put in and compared to Maddie, underneath Maddie's fingernails. They used Maddie as the main contributor, then Kaylee, and then they compared it to all the roommates except for Dylan, and then Jack D, and then this kid. So Cole Elliott and Cole, his last name, yeah, he's just, you know how people use like their middle names, or they could pick up, but you can use whatever fucking name you want. But Cole Elliott is what he goes by right now. And yeah. And he was Jack D was a suspect. He was a suspect. So I have much more on this topic, but this is just your preview for that. Also, want to give a shout out to, where's my bell? Gray Hughes. Give a shout out to Gray Hughes. Gray Hughes, just like me, we pay attention to timelines. And Gray Hughes, believe it or not, he said it before. Maybe he won't say it again. Don't know. Don't care. But it is a fact that there are at least 2 white sedans that are in that area at the same time, based on the timeline of the Fed's reports, and based on the body cam / a camera. So Gray Hughes, thank you for, and that's going to be a live. Is it tonight? Is it? I think it's the one that's tonight. I have the selfie one, and I have the white Elantra one. I can't remember which one's tonight and the other one's tomorrow night. But there's at least 2 of those white sedans, and in Moscow at the time, all at the same time, and which makes sense because there's so many of them and so many people in that area own them. But thank you, Gray Hughes. So this is what you want to look for. I mean, I'll just double check, see which one's which one. Yeah, it's in 5 hours. And it has, oh, here, let me just share it's a great cover. So here, we have some love to gray hues. It's called, I got 99 problems, but gray pubes ain't one. Okay, let's see. That's not what, that was a joke. Where's that? Oh, there it is. So it's a new favorite of mine. There you go. Idaho4, 2 white Elantras. Gray hues problem. Hue problem. Hue problem, maybe. Hue problem. Look at hue problem, maybe. You got a hue problem. 2. Thank you guys for super stickers. Laura Lee, welcome. YouTube member, cheers. Thank you so much. Moon, gifting out a membership. Moonlight, Chelsea, woo, gifting out a membership. Carson, woo. Look at that new profile pic, girl. Flip your hair back and forth. So this is tonight at, I don't know if it's 8, 9. You can just click on it and it'll notify you. But there are 2 white sedans because it crosses up the times that they're clocking these different vehicles and where they're at. And we got two. So Hugh's finally agreeing Brian isn't the sole perpetrator. No, he's just going to come out and say, damn it, that's not what I'm trying. Yeah, well, there's 2 vehicles. You guys, the Banfield body cam, they're using that. They're using that. Let me see. So yeah. All right. So come back and join me. Find out all about the 2 white Honda. That's my Sunday night big bomb live. Woo! If you guys are wanting to stick around, I'll be going over to my next live. I'll be talking about Riley Strand's parents are suing the fraternity and all of these defendants. Last night I stayed up. I researched every single one of them. I believe our regular chatter, Mark B, has done videos on that too a long while back. Yes. I just had even he knows. I just had to put him in there. But I really want to talk about the whole fraternity, sorority life, the Greek life, the whole why 911 wasn't called. You guys, this is Greek. This is the Greek lifestyle. But here, Riley Strand's parents coming out. But Bella and I looked up all these people, and then we saw, so just come on over and you got to hear about this. SF Investigates made a post, and I was just like, kind of like, whoa. He's like, everybody that's listed in that suit, none of them I interviewed. None of them. None of them were the ones that were with Riley before he went missing. And it's like, well, no, actually, maybe they were part of the fraternity. They just weren't official. Because wait till you see all the stuff that they're going to be putting together to show how it's just a mess. So again, thank you so much. Come back. I'll be starting it up right when this is over. Peace out. Thank you guys. Thank you, moderators. Much love.